Good morning, PAX teachers. This is Mrs. Peck, and this video is to introduce the good behavior game for you. I did another video, which is also in the YouTube channel, that you can show directly to the kids to help explain a little bit about how the good behavior game is going to work. There are lots of resources to help you with this, but I wanted to just kind of point out a few things. First of all, playing the good behavior game shouldn't take a lot of time at the beginning. It should only be maybe 1 to 3 minutes, and it should be during an activity that you're not having to do a lot of direct teaching during. So it might be during a quiz or during seat work when they're working on a worksheet, or if you've got students reading during a free reading time. And you can pick which of the vision items you're watching. If you have certain spleens that you want to really help your students work on, then you can pick out initially just a small number of those spleens and let them know before you start the good behavior game which spleens you're going to be especially watching for. Now, if there are other spleens that are, things that are on the see less, feel less, hear less, do less that they're doing, you can count those. You can let them know ahead of time that you will count those, but that you're especially hoping that they will avoid certain spleens. Maybe those would be things like tapping the desk or talking to their neighbor or, things like that. So you get to pick, which those spleens are most important to you in your class initially. Eventually, when you're playing the game, you'll get good enough at counting spleens that you can then say, you know what? Everything on our vision board for spleens is goes towards the game. But initially, just for you to make it easier for you, just start with maybe 3 or 4 spleens that you're watching for. Then you're going to pick your time, and I would suggest at the beginning only a couple of minutes, and then as your class is successful, if you're having 80% or more of your classes winning the good behavior game at those short time periods, then start extending them and making them a little bit longer and a little bit longer. We would like to see you playing this at least 3 times a day. So try to find times when you're planning your curriculum for the day or planning your schedule, times that are going to be appropriate to play the good behavior game. Now, if you notice, I've got the scoreboard up here behind us. Once you start playing the game and you're going to set a timer to start the game, you're going to mark on the scoreboard where everybody can see what spleens each team has. Oh, and incidentally, you're going to break your class up into teams. So each team would have three or fewer spleens in order to win the good behavior game. So you want to mark it on there so that they know. Part of the reason we're doing this now instead of earlier in our PAX school year is because we want to make sure that they know what they should be doing or what they shouldn't be doing. So that if you mark a spleen, you're not going to tell them what the spleen is. You're just going to say that team had a spleen, and they have to figure that out for themselves and stop whatever it is they're doing that is a spleen. Okay. Once the game ends, then if you have teams that have 3 or fewer spleens for that game, then you're going to do a Granny's Wacky Prize with them. Now, those teams that didn't win the good behavior game, that had 4 or more spleens, they're going to have to sit and be patient and watch the other kids whose teams did win the good behavior game do the Granny's Wacky Prize. And those that lost should not do the Granny's Wacky Prize. But remind them that there will be other opportunities for them to win the good behavior game the next time. And have a conversation about what were the spleens. See if they can figure out what the spleens were that took place. And if they don't know at that point, then share that with them so that they know what to improve for next time. If you have any questions, look it up in your book. The manual has a lot of great information and tips on playing the good behavior game. I hope you have a great time playing. This here is the challenge goal. If you decide that you want to have the minutes from the good behavior game add up to a bigger prize, then you can use that. And again, in your manual, there are directions on how to do that. Have fun playing the good behavior game.